Welcome back to another Easter egg video on Scream during Scream Month, and we are wrapping up our three-parter on the promotional websites that were released for Scream 3. If you're just tuning in to this one for the first time, you didn't see the other two, what is that? So, Scream 3, they released 3 websites that were based in the Scream universe and expanded the story before the movie was released. Now, you can go and view these websites, but you have to copy the URL the exact way that it appears in the description. I haven't checked. You brought it up in the last video. It may be a clickable link. I don't know. I don't check out that many descriptions. So you go ahead and do that. Let us know by dropping that in the comments.
And he's the computer guy, right? I feel like it was a very basic question. Is it a clickable link? He doesn't know. He didn't even check.
On this video, since people like to throw me under the bus, we are going to be talking about the bigger Easter eggs that we discovered on 2 of the websites. We already talked about Gail's website. Now we are talking about Sunrise Studios' website and Sunrise Studios Sucks website, which...
Is that like a Walmart Sucks website? Didn't they have one of those?
Pretty much. It came out around the same time, so there was a Walmart
true.
Sucks, there was a Toys R Us Sucks, so whoever was designing the website says like, let me make one of those for this.
It only makes sense.
Now, this website, the Sunrise Studios Sucks website, contains a whistleblower who is revealing all of the dark secrets that are behind Sunrise Studios. So what we learned in Scream 3 was only the tip of the iceberg.
I think it's safe to say that we didn't have a lot to do in the 90s and 2000s. So we made up Sucks websites for
Now,
like every business.
Now it's just Twitter.
To further establish a backstory for some of the characters that we were going to be introduced to in Scream 3, Dimension Studios created a fake website for Sunrise Studios, the studio that produces the Stab movies. A blog site was also created by an anonymous person revealing the dark secrets behind Sunrise Studios, and also introduced several characters with potential motives to be the next killer.
First up, we're going to talk about the Sunrise Studios website, which unfortunately is not fully functional. Again, it is an archive website. So the things that you kind of want to avoid when you go there, unless maybe you explore and see if it works on your browser, is Studio Tour, Chat, Shop, submit your email address, and credits. So those do not work fully.
Yeah, I think it just really sucks that we didn't discover these websites a long time ago and possibly they worked completely.
Well, for the benefit of our subscribers, I found fully functional website videos that we'll be exploring in ours.
Okay, well, I guess that's a good substitution. On the right-hand side of the website, you'll see a news section that includes articles about the Stab 2 director being fired and what happened to Gail's show, Top Copy. The Coming Attractions link allows you to look at Sunrise Studios' slate of upcoming films.
Some of these films contain a filmography, and they have sub-links for some of the fake actors and actresses and the cast on the film. So those are really interesting to take a look at. Again, if you want to know what happened to Gail's career at Top Copy, go here and take a look at it. So we're going to keep these Easter egg videos short so that you have some time to go ahead and explore.
And even though there's like things that don't work on these websites, they're really fun. I didn't look at them for all that. I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking at them from what I did, like the browsing around. They're pretty fun. It's interesting to read some of the stuff. It's funny. So, and it takes you back because, like you said, it's like Angel Fire. Like you can tell it was from the 90s.
Yeah, the Sunrise Studios one is my least favorite of the 3, so that's why we're talking about it first.
Yeah. The links that work in the navigation menu cover the studio's history, a filmography for 40 films with synopsis, cast and crew, and posters if your browser is compatible. There is a Stab Trilogy page that has info on the first 2 films and a bunch of dead links. And finally, an employment opportunities page with several jobs listed.
Now, as I mentioned, there's a lot of Easter eggs that are scattered throughout here, and unfortunately, I just don't have the time to find them all, but there is a bunch out there, including one of the news articles that they have posted, which is written by Jason Voorhees.
Who knew?
Yeah.
See?
Written in blood.
He has like another side to him. Who knew that he wrote? Come on.
Now we're going to talk about the Sunrise Studios Sucks website. And this one is the one that you probably want to dive in and read all the interesting facts about the history of Sunrise Studios, or the dirt. This is like the TMZ or of that time. And it's broken up into 7 links, and it's called 7 chapters because the whistleblower plans to meet up with Gail and blow the lid off of everything.
Chapter 1, Why John Milton and Fred Rifkin Don't Get Along. Chapter 2, New Dirt on Stab 2. Chapter 3, The Real Reason Roman Bridger Got Hired. Chapter 4, The Empty Chopping Block. Chapter 5, Vanishing Acts. Chapter 6, More Sun Lies. Chapter 7, Suspect Map.
Now what you want to do is make sure that you go and take a look at the suspect map. It's very interesting, it has a very cool timeline of events. Now there are, because it is an archive website, some of the words kind of got jumbled a little bit. So you look at it and it's like, well, that's not that person's name. And then if you look at it, it's just kind of the way the wording just condensed on the website. But here are the 3 most interesting Easter eggs that we found.
The father of Phil Stevens, the person killed at the Stab premiere in Scream 2, worked as a chef for Sunrise Studios before and after his son's murder. After his death, Martin blamed the studio and began to target studio executives who worked there, going as far as to slash the tires of producer Don Crosby. It was even rumored that he may have even poisoned and killed one of the studio writers. Martin wasn't arrested, and not only was he able to keep his job, but the studio paid him $400,000 in hush money.
Wow. I read, when I found this one, it's like, oh, is that who I think it is? And then as you keep reading through the article, it's like, wow, so what the hell is going on there that they were trying to cover up in the Stab premiere? I just hate that they kind of abandoned this. It would have been an interesting storyline to see in there. I don't think they could have fitted in there the way it was going, but...
Yeah, I think it's hard, I mean, especially when you have a horror movie, because people are they're looking for the stabbing and, they want to see the deaths.
He's a chef. He stabs a lot.
That's not the same thing. And besides, they think that he poisoned someone to kill them, so that's a little different.
As Randy would say, he would slice and dice.
You're not Randy, don't do that. Another possibly established motive that did not play out was that John Milton had purchased the rights to Gail Weathers' 2 books, The Woodsboro Murders and College Terror, which Stab 1 and 2 were based on. Milton, however, did not fully pay Gail for those rights, and in response, Gail made it a point to target the studio in her reporting. The final story that never played out or was even mentioned that I can recall. Not only did the Sunrise Sucks identify several characters with motives to kill and stop Stab 3, it also indicated that the murder of Don Gordon's assistant had occurred shortly before filming, which was later followed by Don's suicide on the same day. The murder and suicide were not linked together, and the person who murdered his assistant was never caught. Sounds like another cover-up.
First interesting thing here is the whole Gail Sunrise Studios connections, her getting screwed over and then making them a target. Not much to unravel here, but I thought that was pretty interesting. Gives her a little bit of a motive, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in another video. And then the final story that we just talked about is the murder-suicide, which possibly means to me that the Ghostface murders started occurring before the film had happened. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Other things that you will find.
How Roman became director of Stab 3. Why Tori Spelling quit the Stab movies, and why Cotton Weary was cast as himself. How Angelina won her role. And Neil Prescott's boycott of the studio.
So the last 2 ones are interesting because we kind of mentioned this in one of our Pop 5 videos. And Angelina, she's going to give it to everybody now, poisoned the contestants that she was competing against to win the contest. Now in the film we heard her talk about how she slept with Milton to gain the lead role, but she won the contest by poisoning her fellow contestants.
So essentially she just took care of the competition and she was the last one left.
Yes. And why would she do that? Well, go check out that Pop 5 video.
Well, clearly she's fucking crazy.
Well, she was supposed to be the second killer.
Ah, that makes sense. Well, that fits too, because she's fucking crazy.
And there's a little bit more to that we will get into, but that will be on the Pop 5 video. The other thing that I found interesting was Neil Prescott boycotting Sunrise Studios because it not only ruined his daughter's life, but you gotta think back, right? Hank Loomis, Maureen Prescott, both connected to Sunrise Studios in the early 70s.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Sunrise Studios was probably just a black cloud over Neil Prescott's head, like, because his wife started out there and, you know, she was raped and that,
and I'm sure
that effed her up. And,
yeah, I'm sure she shared that with him.
Well, I'm sure that he knew. I mean, I know that probably some women don't tell any of that stuff, but I think he probably knew, and, you know, of course, that kind of turned her into a promiscuous person and doing things that, you know, she shouldn't have been doing, and so there was just like this black cloud over Neil Prescott that was named Sunrise Studio, so I can understand that he would boycott it.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. So there are a lot of cool Easter eggs here. We're not going to go over them all because it would just be lots and lots of research time on my part and putting that together and then writing it up. But I felt like this time around it would be a little bit more fun for everybody to go out there, see what they can find, and share it in the comments.
Yeah, so go on an Easter egg hunt of your own.
I actually, one of the reasons why I'm not looking for every Easter egg in this one, because of these websites, they're fun to look at. So I wanted to make sure that you have the experience that I did and you did when we looked at them.
Yeah, they are fun. So, I mean, even if you don't go on there looking for some Easter eggs, just go on there and have some fun reading some of the stories and the different things that are there and the different links that do work. They're pretty cool.
Yep, remember, they're archived and you just have to copy and paste the link, see if the hyperlink's in the description. Go there and check it out. Yeah. Now, don't forget, it is the quest for 5,000 subscribers during Scream Month, and you can help us get there by
liking, subscribing, and sharing.
Every video along that journey that hits 25 comments and 25 likes, until we hit 100 comments and likes, that means you have 4 chances to win. You'll get a prize.
Who doesn't like prizes?
I know. 100 comments, 100 likes, you win a bigger prize.
Yes, a one-sheet poster from the movie theater. They're pretty sick.
And once we hit 5,000 subscribers, you have a chance to win this box of Strawberries and Scream cereal signed by
Matthew Lillard and David Arquette. And possibly 1 or 2 more, depending on what goes on in the next couple of months.
Yes. So, thank you for watching our episode and giving us some time to entertain you with some Easter eggs and other stuff that we do here on Nerdbox. And until the next,
see ya.
See ya.